Hello everyone and welcome back to another Figurehead Reviews video, and today we are taking a look at the Marvel Legends Thing, part of the Super Skrull Build-A-Figure wave. Here we have Thing displayed in the front window with the two heads for the Build-A-Figure, and then of course we get the Fantastic Four logo down at the bottom, and then Marvel's Thing. On the side we do have some artwork there of Thing clenching his fist. That is going to be the same artwork on both sides. On the back, we do get a product shot of Thing there flexing his muscles at us. And we do have a quick read-up. Bombarded by cosmic rays, Ben Grimm develops thick orange skin and superhuman strength. Then we have all the other figures needed in this wave to complete the Super Skrull Build-A-Figure. At the bottom, we do have the UPC code, so you can check with your local retailer to see if they have this in stock. But enough about that. Let's get this open and take a look at Thing. And here is the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing outside of his packaging. And, I gotta say, I'm happy that Hasbro is re-releasing the Fantastic Four in a standard wave. A lot of people might have missed out on those Walgreens exclusive figures, especially the Thing. I saw the Thing in stores once, and that was the time that I got him, and never again. But I saw the other three from the Fantastic Four multiple times, actually. I could have bought the other three probably 2 or 3 times over if I had wanted to. But with that being said, I feel like this Thing falls a little bit short on that Walgreens exclusive. And not just because it's the modern suit versus the classic suit. It doesn't come with any additional accessories for this one, whereas the Walgreens exclusive, we got alternate hands and an alternate head. This one, all we get are the Build-A-Figure pieces. Now, from a cost standpoint, that is probably because Hasbro didn't include a Build-A-Figure piece with the other Walgreens exclusive version, so that's the trade-off. You get the extra accessories, but no contribution to a Build-A-Figure with the Walgreens one, and with this one we get no accessories, but a contribution to the Build-A-Figure. So I imagine that is probably it, and it has to do with just cost savings and things like that. I do wish that they had done the other head sculpt, though, which is a snarling Thing with his teeth showing versus this calm Thing. I definitely prefer the other one. I'm not a fan of the calm expressions, just because for dynamic posing, it always just looks kind of weird. Now, when standing straight up, Thing is coming in at about 7¼ inches tall, which makes him about 18.4 centimeters. So, of course, he is a taller figure, as he should be. He is almost Build-A-Figure worthy, in all honesty. Maybe he's just slightly smaller than some of the average Build-A-Figures we would normally get, but it's still a very big figure. But since he does not come with any accessories, just the Build-A-Figure pieces, which we'll look at later, let's go ahead and just jump in and take a look at the paint and sculpt here on Thing. And getting up close, we can see a very cool looking head sculpt. I love the prominent brow, and then we just get that lower jaw sticking out with that big old bottom lip. And it's just very, very cool looking, and definitely unmistakably the Thing. And of course, I say the ever-loving blue-eyed Thing, and those blue eyes look like they came out pretty good, actually. So I am quite happy with that. The sculpt work on this figure is certainly not one of the areas that I have a complaint on. There's not a whole lot to it in terms of just needing to be sculpted rock, and it looks really good. However, where I do have my biggest complaint, where I said this is a little bit less quality than the Walgreens one, is the shading. I'm happy it's there. I personally feel like it's a little heavy-handed and a little too sporadic. We get it in that stripe across his chest and shoulders, and we get it all over his head with that lighter orange, and it just, I don't know, it just, like I said, feels a little heavy-handed. I will admit that I think they tried something different. The Walgreens Thing has a wash going through it, so you really have all of these the cracks and things like that of the rock pattern is got that dark wash in it, so it really makes those details pop, and we don't get that wash here. And I think they wanted to do something a little different, so it wasn't the exact same figure. And that's not the worst thing in the world, but I don't know if this was the right choice personally, in my opinion. But looking at the shading, I mean, like I said, it's not bad. It's just not really done in areas I would have expected it to be done to highlight, say, like the musculature. So if you had the shading like on the pecs and the abs, I mean, you can see he clearly has abs there, the biceps and things like that. Instead, it's just that line across the front, a little bit on the top, and then we get it on the top of his feet as well. So it just feels, like I said, kind of sporadic. And then the other only complaint I had is, like I said, the plain face. I just wish it would have been the snarling face that we had gotten with the other figure. Now, this one does have the newer suit style, so really all they had to do is, of course, apply some different paint, and then the belt is a loose piece, so they threw the different belt on there, and that's pretty much it. And looking at that 4 logo, it actually looks pretty good. Not really upset with the paint there. And there's really not much else to look at with them. I mean, we get, like I said, some really cool-looking sculpt work, but there's not a lot going on in terms of the rest of the costume. Now, jumping into the articulation, you do have a head that can spin all the way around. He can look down, not too bad, and look up, not too bad, and you do also have some shifting motion there on the head, so he can actually look down a little bit further, and, looking up doesn't really change, though. So, and you get a little bit of wobble, not a lot. His shoulders are going to come up about a full 90 degrees, not bad. And then you do have full rotation. There is no bicep swivel. You do have a big single-jointed elbow with a swivel. And then you do have rotation and a hinge on all the hands. And you can see you even got sculpted rocks there on the hinge. So that's actually kind of cool to help keep it blended in there. And I should have mentioned, too, he does just come with 2 fisted hands. That's something else I would have liked to see, is just one additional hand, like with an open gesture. I mean, clearly he's supposed to have his fists clenched. Why did we get a plain face sculpt? I don't get that. He is going to have the diaphragm joint here. Now, the diaphragm joint, actually, if you pull it forward, you're going to get a pretty good amount of crunch. I mean, a decent amount anyway. And then if you just try to go straight back, it's not really going to go back. So you kind of have to shift it. Like you might have just heard it pop. But if you kind of shift it back, it'll go back. But it leaves you with a little bit of a gap there. And then you can rotate it around. It is going to start hitting some of the sidewalls there of the plastic. And you get a little bit of tilt out of it. It's kind of a rough joint, so you can, like I said, just sort of pull it in different directions, and you can get some of those different poses like you saw in my 360s, 360 shots, that is. He does have a waist swivel, legs that can actually come apart a pretty fair amount. He can kick forward, actually pretty far as well. Backwards, not much at all. Upper thigh cut. Oh, wow. Well, it's there. This one is apparently just really stiff. He does have a double jointed knee, and then he does have a hinge and ankle pivot. And that is going to do it for this review, everyone. And overall, I think it's still a good figure, even though I had my complaints about that shading and such. So I still think it's worth picking up the Fantastic Four wave. I think the new costume is still kind of cool looking. And certainly if you didn't get the Walgreens figures, this is a great way to get the Marvel's first family into your collection. With that being said, too, I'm kind of curious. What do you guys think? Did I blow through this review too fast? Would you have wanted me to linger a little bit longer on things like the sculpt and whatnot? I mean, it felt like there wasn't really much to go over. It was just the rock sculpt, and I feel like the amount of screen time I gave it allowed you guys to see it. So let me know what you think. Am I too short, too quick with the reviews, or is it too long even, actually? Just curious on what you guys like for these. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. But aside from that, if you like this review as it was, hit that thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe for more content just like this. And aside from that, thanks for watching my videos, and have a great day.